everyone, it's Misty here. Welcome back to the ScrapbookPal.com YouTube channel. In today's video, I have a card for you featuring the new Puddle Play bundle from Catherine Pooler, along with her Shine Your Light stamp set and this Radiant Heart stencil from Honeybee Stamps. I'm going to start with stamping my bear, and I'm going to stamp him on some Copic quality cardstock in my Misty using some Gina K ink. All of supplies used in today's video will be linked down below, so make sure you check that out. So I'm going to stamp him in on paper, and then I'm going to bring in a scrap piece of pattern paper that I want to use for the umbrella. So this one side is white and one side is purple, and initially I used the white side, but I decided later to come in with the darker purple, so you'll see that in a little bit. So when I sit down to color, this is what I do. I pick out some colors and I go and I blend them together and see if I like that blend. So here, I did like that blend. So this is going to be some really simple coloring. I'm just starting on the outside with the darkest and working my way to the inside with the lightest. So I'm going to let you watch some music while I color this real quick, and then I'll catch up with you when we're ready to move on to the next step. Now that I have that colored, I'm going to go ahead and bring in the coordinating dies to cut out the spare. And I just used some wire snips that I picked up off Amazon to do that. After I cut it out, I determined that I didn't want the white border around it. So I brought in the darkest marker and I'm just coloring the white all around the bear. I could have avoided this by fussy cutting, but again, I didn't realize it until after I die cut it that I didn't want the white around it. So this is the umbrella part, and again, I initially used this one, but you'll see later that I'm gonna go back to the darker one. I really wanted white and black polka dot, like that was my vision, but I don't have any white and black polka dot paper in my stash, and I don't understand how that's a thing. I don't understand how that is a thing. So I'm going to go ahead and use some Tombow Mono liquid glue to adhere the umbrella part. And then I'm going to bring in a black felt tip marker. First I'm going to take care of the handle of the umbrella with a T10, and then I'm going to bring in a V09 to go around the edges of the umbrella, again to get rid of that white. And then I'm going to use a black felt tip marker to go around the image. If you have the Tombow marker, any kind of water-based marker will really do. So I'm bringing in a piece of Copic quality paper again, and we are stamping the rainbow. And then I'm going to bring in some masking paper after I get this stamped so I can mask and create a background. I really love this rainbow. I think it's really fun. I love that it's patterned. I just really, really enjoy it. And like I said, I will have all of the supplies linked in the description box down below. So if you've never did a mask, I'm using masking paper, but if you have copy paper, you can take that, cut your mask out, put on a thin layer of the Tombow Mono liquid glue, let it dry completely, and then it becomes a removable adhesive. So you don't have to invest in this paper unless you really want to. But I like to use it. It's just easier and quicker for me. But if you want to save some coin, all you have to do is, again, stamp on copy paper, cut it out, and then put a very thin layer of the Tombow Mono on the back. That's the great thing about that Tombow Mono liquid glue. If you glue it down immediately, it's permanent. If you let it dry, then it is not. It's removable. So I use squeezed lemonade to put the rays around the almost said umbrella, rainbow, and I'm using tumbled glass kind of as my sky to go around. For the rainbow, I'm doing some really simple coloring, just 2 colors per line, so to speak, and I'm starting at the darkest at the ends and working up to the lightest in the middle. So again, I'm going to play some music and we'll keep going once that's finished. So you can see there on the left that I had tried this with doing the rays, and then I was going to cut out the rainbow, but I like it this way better. I wanted to bring in a little bit more dimension and some glitter because it's me. So initially I was trying to use these Nuvo glitter drops just out of the spout, and I found that it was too thick. So what I've done is I've put some on a piece of paper. I'm just picking it up with a brad setter, and I'm just going over the line. So you can probably use a toothpick, whatever you have, a pokey tool, you know, that you don't mind getting a little bit of glue on it. And I'm just going over each of those rays. It's hard to see it like on camera, but in person it adds just a little bit of dimension, gives the background a little bit of pop, and I really, really love how it turned out. So this is where I've decided, okay, I need a new umbrella. And then I'm going to bring in a piece of black cardstock, and we're going to stamp, or I'm going to stamp the sentiment sending bear hugs. I'm going to be stamping that with a Versamark ink, and then I'm going to emboss that with some white embossing powder. I really, really loved bringing in this little bit of black because our lines are black. Initially, I thought maybe I would do like white with purple ink, but I went ahead with the embossing. I love heat embossing. It's one of my most favorite techniques ever. I just think it's so beautiful, and it's actually what got me into card making. Over a decade ago, I was watching Martha Stewart make Christmas cards, and she did some heat embossing, and I was like, what is that? how do I do it? Where do I buy the stuff? And I've been making cards ever since. So yeah. So you're just going to heat that till it melts. And then I'm going to trim this down with my trimmer. And then I'm just going to cut out the purple again. This time I'm going a little bit outside the line so it covers it up a little better. But it's such a cute little image. He's just, this bear is just so cute. Initially I was going to make him a polar bear, but I thought, you know what, I want to do a brown bear. And that reminds me of brown bear, brown bear. How many times have I read that in my life? Probably a million. If you work with little kids, you know brown bear, brown bear. Okay, so I'm going to bring in some foam squares from Scrapbook Adhesive, and I'm going to add those to the back of him so I can pop him up, because I want him up, and especially want him up because of the texture that the glitter glue left behind. So I brought in the other piece of that polka dot and cut it down to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And now I'm going to adhere my rainbow to the pattern paper. And again, just using Tombow Mono liquid glue, spreading that around and getting it adhered. And then I'm going to use some more Tombow Mono liquid glue to adhere this to a card base. This is just a piece of white, I think it's 100-pound cardstock that I've cut at 4 1/4 by 11. I've scored it at 5 1/2. Top voting cards are my absolute favorite. They're my most favorite to make. So I'm going to bring in a Nuvo pen because glitter, I have to have glitter. It's like I can't have a card without glitter. I'm taking off all the little backer sheets and I keep those in a little bowl, and then I cut off his legs. And thank goodness he can't feel it, right? I didn't want to bring in grass. And so I thought, you know what, he could be, you know, the sky's behind him. I don't have to worry about doing grass, and he'll still look really cool. So I'm adding dimensional to the back of the sentiment, and that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. Let me know what you think of this card down in the description, down in the comments below. Oh, I forgot. I'm going to add a little bit of the clear Nuvo drops to the umbrella and to his eyes and nose to bring in a little bit more of that shine and shimmer. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, all of the supplies are linked down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.